What is up? What is up? Good morning, everyone. Hope you all have had a good week so far. I'm gonna do a quick live stream today. Woke up with a horrible earache, so after this live, I'm gonna go and get some more rest here. But let's take a quick look at these markets here, see if anything is available for this week, see what we're looking at, and yeah, see if we can make some money. So here on Euro NOK, we'll look at this pair first. This thing has been on a little bit of a bullish run from that weekly point of interest that we looked at a while back. It's gone over 1,000 pips so far. We did look at this daily point of interest right here. This did come back at us. But if you guys know my trading style, I always take my partials or whatever at 50 pips or so. So you can see the reaction that we had on that level. I made a previous video um, from that area um, on this setup. You can see this setup right here. That's where that was. So, I mean, money was made from that area. It just didn't go as far as I thought it was going to go in the long term. I thought maybe that we could have, seen it come back, maybe fill this inefficiency or come back down to some areas down in this area down here, but that didn't happen. So we're on a new month now. Previous month's low, previous month's high. Um, I do have a setup that I am looking on this right here. This big drop to the downside. I am wondering if price can get back up into that area. Maybe give us some type of reaction. Um, but as you can see, prices down here at 1050, so it'll be something that we'll have to wait for in the future. But that's all I'm looking at on Euro NOK. Let's go to Euro GBP here. What is this? Um, so we've traded back up into the point 0.9 major level. You can see that on the daily, see the weekly, the daily, right? Price has closed under that level, respecting that level there. Um, and in the grand scheme of things, if you look at this, this is still like in a larger consolidated state. So, that's when your supply and demand plays can come into effect. Buy low, sell high, right? Um, and history repeats itself, right? So, like you see these long wicks like this, and then a nice push to the downside. That's kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen here. Um, Long wick, maybe a push to the downside, clearing this low around here. For the longest time, I've been wondering if price can get down to here or here. You see these monthly demand areas down here. This last push down and then this push down. So I've been wondering, for the longest time, probably, yeah, like literally since 2019, if price will ever make its way down here. So we're still just kind of waiting on, those sells, see if those sells will happen. Um, I am looking at this setup around this area here, around point 87, 88. See if we can get some type of reaction maybe. But the way this looks on the 1 hour is not very, it's not the cleanest, I would say. Um, but 4 hour line chart, you can see last buy and move up. Nice move to the downside. Maybe price can retrace back up into that area and give us a rejection around that area. But that's all I'm looking for. That's all I'm looking for on Euro GBP. GBP USD. Um, Actually, some wild stuff has been happening on GBP USD. We have breached the all-time low right here, and it's respecting it quite well. Also around that 1.1 major figure level. Um, and last month had closed above that area. So I'm still wondering, what kind of bullish push we can get off of this, if any. Um, but I haven't really paid too much attention to it. I was in Mexico, so but I'm back home now. My ear is killing me, bro. We do have a point of structure right here. I would like to see, another thing, guys, that I want to make clear too, when I mark something up like this in particular, since we're on that topic, when I mark something up like that, I'm not marking it up because I expect a move. Oh, that's crazy. It wicked up into that area. I'm not marking it up because I expect a move, like to take a position, right? I'm marking it up to see what type of reaction that I can get or what type of reaction the market can give me off of these areas, right? So on the line chart, just looking at this on the weekly time frame, I marked this up and the line chart isn't even up there, right? But then you look at the candlesticks and you see that it did wick into that area. How many pips was that? 168 pips off of that. 168 pips off of that. So, I mean, you see, like, structure can play a big role in your trading. And also, I bet you this grabbed liquidity from like the previous day's high or so. Let me see here. Yeah, exactly. Look. So we're on Wednesday. Yesterday was Tuesday, and you see the high of Tuesday just barely got tapped right here. So this could have been a good setup, um, but personally, I wouldn't have taken that just because I would like to see more bearishness if that's what is going to happen from that level. But like I just mentioned, we had just reached the all-time low on this pair. You can see a huge push right here, this volatile push to the downside. Boom. And what does price do when it hits that all-time low? We get an immediate rejection, an immediate reaction back to this area here. And you could have been buying there, could have been buying here, could have been buying here, here, right? There's a ton of places that you could have been a buyer in this market. And it's like the same thing that happened with oil um a year or two ago, maybe. I don't know exactly when it was, a couple years ago. I'll just look at it right quick for you guys. Oil. Um, yeah, you see price hit zero and took a huge turn to the upside. Why? Because I mean it had nowhere else to go. And look, the all-time low, not really looking at this because I don't know what this is. Yeah, I don't know what this is. But the real low, I would say, is like right there at 980, right? And yep, you see the candle, or excuse me, the line chart, you can see it doesn't breach that. But if you go back to the candlesticks, there is a wick that had just went under that. And you could have been a buyer in this area here. And I wish I was. I wish I could have caught this buy and rode this thing all the way up. Um, but I was kind of dumb. I wasn't really thinking. I'm like, oil's at zero. That's not good. I'm gonna just leave that alone. Um, so the same kind of situation I feel like is with GBP USD as well. Uh, Maybe this can fly from the all-time low and give out a pretty good decent amount of money. So let's look on the 4 hour. Yeah, nothing really too exciting. There would have been a good buy off of um, this and then this break of structure here, you see. But price didn't ever come back down into this area here. It kind of consolidated here and then continued to the upside. So this would have been a good buy, but it wasn't there. It didn't happen. Euro USD, I am in sells right now off of this. Um, I took some partials this morning when I woke up. um, just because that's my trading style. I like to take my partials, make a little bit of money. This thing is 93 pips so far. But the setup that I was looking at, and it goes with the dollar too, which we'll get to that here in a second. But the setup I was looking at, right, you can see this push to the downside here. We had 6 or 7 days, a whole week basically. Yeah, pretty much a whole week to the downside. And we look on the line chart, this was that point of structure, that last point of structure that had been broken to the downside. So um, this point of interest right here around 9965, and then also this major level at 1.0, right? Um, there's 2 points of interest that could kind of give us some type of reaction in the market. And you can see here, this had cleanly rejected off of this area. And so, yeah, now I've taken partials on this. This has gone 90 something pips. I woke up this morning and I took partials around, yeah, like 80 or 70 pips or so. And now it's just going down a little bit more. But hopefully, this can go down at least to this bit of structure here, and then we'll see what happens. Um, but yeah, at least around to this structure here, see what happens around this area as well. And it's the same for the dollar. Um, I was looking on this, you can see on the line chart, uh, it correlates a lot with Euro USD. So same thing. I'm wondering if the dollar can buy back up into at least this area here. And then we'll see what happens on in that area. And then Bitcoin, mentioned the setup on previous streams. I would still really love to see Bitcoin get back up to the 26, 28K area before possibly heading to the downside. Um, if it doesn't, that's fine, but I just feel like this would be a good area for this to get to before heading down to 15, 15 and below. Um, but on this daily setup here, I am still waiting to see what type of reactions I can get off of this daily and 4 hour area. So, just a little recap. I always mention this, but um, if I have 2 points of interest, right, what am I looking for? Well, on the first one, right, I want price to, give me confirmation that this is going to go to the downside on the first one, right? I want to see a break of structure because if I just enter here, right, my risk to reward might not be that favorable. It might not be that good. Um, so what I do on the second point of interest, this point of interest gives me that better risk to reward on my trade. So oftentimes I'll just enter off of this, right? So on the first one, I want to see a break of structure. On the second one, if the risk to reward is pretty good, then I will just enter. I don't have a fear in these markets. I don't fear a loss because I know that eventually, like if I have 2 or 3 losing trades in a row, the next trade that I get is going to cover all of those trades and plus some. It's gonna one win can outweigh uh 10 losses if you have good risk to reward management. So still waiting, seeing what price is gonna do if price gets up to that area. As far as right now, we did have a little sell. I did make a little bit of money and then it came back at me. We'll go over that setup right here though. So, um, if you guys were in maybe some old courses that I used to have or old mentorships, I always did an analogy of a airplane. So if you think of an airplane, right? And I'm talking about this move in particular here. So if if um if you take an airplane and most of you guys obviously you know how an airplane takes off, right? It needs to slowly build speed to then gradually take off like this, right? To reach its altitude. But now, what would happen, right? What would happen if a plane started going and it went up like this right away? What happens to that plane? It immediately goes back down, right? Because it didn't build up enough speed to catch the altitude that it needed to level out and fly, right? And that's one analogy that I look at when I see price moves like this, where, price is going, boom, and then it flies up and it comes back down, just like an airplane would. And some of that, that analogy might stick with some of you, and some of you might think, well, that's a weird analogy. Weirdo, I don't get that. But in my head, it makes perfect sense. And from the years that I've been trading, I've seen that a lot of times those type of moves do have some type of reaction. And as you can see here, price came back up into that area and wicked that area. And when we drop down to the 1 hour, you guys will see this inefficiency as well a lot better in this area here. But yeah, I had some cells up in this area and I had taken partials and I was gonna let this run to see if price would take out this liquidity down here, but it did not yet. It came back. We broke even on the position after I had taken my partials, which is okay. That's fine. That's fine. There will be more setups, more money to be made, and nothing to stress over. Um, but you guys can see this inefficiency here. Strong move to the upside, and then an immediate drop to the downside, right? So there was no like retracement per se, like this right here. You see this big push, well, not really big, but a volatile push, and then a retracement back into this area, right? When you guys want to see a retracement, it should look something like this. It should look like that, right? Consolidated, building liquidity, capturing liquidity up into your point of interest, and then a rejection, right? Ah, that coffee is good. And then some type of rejection. And that's what we saw here. But we didn't see that here, rejecting back down or retracing back down into this point of structure here, which is why you saw this push below this low, hitting this liquidity before giving us another volatile push to the upside. So yeah, entry was up in this area here, and I took partials at 50 pip or whatever this low is, 79, 80 pips. Oops. And then yeah, this thing came back, broke even, and now this is where we're at right now. But that's fine. I'm still waiting for my long-term positions to see what the market can give us. So I think I'm gonna hop off here. Um, be looking out for Euro USD. See if there's any more um, indications to push to the downside. Let's check news really actually before I hop off here. What we got? Is today Wednesday? News at 9. Friday. Friday is going to be a good day. We're going to see double folders on CAD. We'll take a look at, maybe we might take a look at some CAD pairs on Friday. Maybe USD CAD. I don't really trade that pair, but we'll take a look at some CAD pairs on Fridays, see what the news does leading up into Sunday on market open and then Monday, the start of the week. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna hop off here. My ear is killing me. It's giving me a headache. But appreciate you guys for hopping on this live. Give me a like, subscribe, give me a comment down below. Anything you guys learn, any videos you guys want me to make in the future. And I'll probably be live streaming tomorrow. So I'll see you guys tomorrow and peace out.